Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this Friday night edition of USPBL Baseball on the USPBL YouTube channel. My name is Rich Borland. I am just in-house for the pregame show, as it will be Chad Bush and manager of the two-time defending USPBL champions, Chris Newell, on the call tonight. But going into this action this evening, it was the Garrett Chrisman show last night as the leader in innings pitched and game started, had its best performance of the season, leading the Beavers to their 18th win overall. He went 7 strong innings, throwing just 71 pitches while giving up just 2 hits, both of them singles, while striking out 5, and he also didn't allow any walks or runs. The Beavers did not have any big-time hits there, but their third baseman, TJ Ward, racked up 3 singles, going 3 for 5 with an RBI, as Chris Newell's team put up 11 singles last night to score all 7 of their runs through the first 5 innings. The Hoppers were able to make some type of threat after having none through the first 7 frames. In the 8th inning, they got lucky with 2 unearned runs on a few errors and a wild pitch, but it was in the 9th when things got interesting. Sebastian Diaz earned a 1-out walk, which led to a home run from former Woolly Mammoth Brant Broussard. The LSU Tigers' big fly was not the end of the night for Eastside. Ashanti Wheatley and Pat Adams delivered with back-to-back singles. That is when Dylan Collette came in as newcomer Justin Valdespina, a former Danville Brave. Freddie Geely reached on an error, and the home run derby runner-up Luke Johnson came to the plate as what would be the game-winning run. Collette got the better of him with a fly ball to end the game, and the Hoppers left the bases loaded to end the game and lost by 3. But as we look onwards to tonight's matchup, we head down to the field for the anthem, and then when we come back, Chad Bush and Chris Newell will be on the call here from Friday night at Jimmy John's Field.
While rendering the hand salute as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, sponsored by the Detroit Medical Center DMC and performed tonight by the Fitzgerald High School Marching Band.
Welcome, everybody, to Jimmy John's Field. You're live on USPBL, a YouTube channel in beautiful Utica, Michigan. My name is Chad Bush, alongside Chris Newell tonight. Glad to have you here for this USPBL showdown between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Now then, Chris, these two teams come in opposite sides in the standings. First place, of course, for Westside. Last place and fourth place is Eastside. What are you seeing how these two teams right now are playing and holding up as this league grows into the month of August?
Well, it's a different setting for Eastside. You know, their first 3 years they've been right with us at the top. It seems like going neck and neck. But you know, and as far as Westside's concerned, they've usually been struggling in their first 2 years in existence. So it's nice to see them doing well. But you know, everybody's so close right now in the standings. There's still a lot of baseball left.
Sure is. 7-game losing streak for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to this Westside team. And 7 straight games. You got to go all the way back to early June, the last time Eastside tasted victory. They have lost 3 of their last 4. Trying to get things going tonight and doing that with a guy on the mound that we're just learning about in Dugan Darnell, a guy out of Northville who is going to pitch tonight for the Diamond Hoppers. We'll get more into him later, but first, let's give you the starting lineups for the visitors, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They'll start off with Pat Adams, the best hitter in this league, 371 to date, leads the league, had a 29-game hit streak earlier this year. He's in left field and leads things off for Paul Nochi. Batting second, it's Freddie Geely at second base. Luke Johnson in right field bats third. Riley Mahalik will bat cleanup and the DH. Brad Hamilton is the catcher as the first pitch, and we're underway, is a strike at the waist for a strike called. Hamilton catching, followed by Gray, Diaz, Wheatley, Broussard to round it out for Paul Nochi, the manager for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Next offering is well outside. This is Matt Cronin. And Matt Cronin, perhaps the top pitcher left in this league that hasn't been plucked up. Some have wondered why. The pitch in the offering, it's a tapper. Pat Adams will chase it down the first base line. Coming over to make the grab before it went foul was Cronin. But now the first base umpire is going to say it was a foul ball. And what'd you see there, Chris?
Boy, I don't know. That was close. But good. That was a good 90 feet run by Adams. But Cronin bounced off the mound just like you want. And lucky for Eastside, Pat's still alive. Guy could flat out swing it. He's having, in my opinion, an MVP type year.
He sure is. Westside 19-16. The home team out there in the white uniforms with blue sleeves, with the white caps, as you see into your televisions as we shade over the pitcher's mound. This beautiful 80-degree night in Utica. Count runs to 2-2. Leadoff man Pat Adams out of Warren De La Salle High School. Upright from the left-handed side. Swinging a fly ball right center field, fairly deep. Going back is Whisker. He'll give way to the center fielder, Kitson, and there is one out on a high, tall right center field drive to start this game. Eastside Diamond Hoppers with the black tops, gray pants. We have a special event coming, Chris Newell, in the second inning that I know you're going to be a part of, and we'll talk about that here just in a moment as Freddie Geely steps in, the Troy, Michigan native, and it's a slider over for a strike.
That's big, getting ahead early with something off speed. He's really commanding that well. It's going to – anytime Cronin's a guy that likes to pitch backwards but keeps every hitter off balance, so it's going to be a good matchup.
You say pitch backwards. What does he pitch backwards with? What types of pitches? What makes him a backwards type pitcher when he does that?
Well, you know, first pitch of the at bat. A lot of guys look fastball, and he's in fastball counts. He likes to throw something off speed, his slider, his changeup, and then in off speed type pitches, he's got a tendency to sneak that fastball by guys. So it's obviously the old cat and mouse game, and he's always one step ahead, it seems like.
Yeah, and that makes sense, and especially for a guy like Cronin, who seems to be sort of a heady player, a guy that is still here with his gaudy ERA and numbers of 2.19 and 3-0. Opponents batting just .216. Fastball too tall as the fly ball is recorded in left field by Will Johnson. For the West Side, Woolly Mammoths. This beautiful 80-degree Friday night. There's a ground ball foul. So let's talk a little about this second inning ceremony and the special announcement. I'm going to let you do the honors of what's coming up here in the second inning and what this league is all about in graduating guys to the next level. Tell us who's next up there.
Yeah, so with first and foremost, the guys playing tonight, Noah Gotsis is getting signed by the Colorado Rockies, the Eastside Hoppers, and then my guy, Kyle Ologies, is also getting picked up. Get out of here. Touch them all. Thank God
Luke
he didn't
Johnson.
do that last night against us in the ninth. But Kyle Ologies is also getting signed. Kyle came to us from Utica. Utica released him about a month ago. And, we picked him up. We were in dire need for an innings eater and a guy, who had some good potential. And Kyle certainly fit that build. And it's, it's nice to see that when he was, for lack of a better term, written off, he still was able to stick around with us and gave us valuable innings, and it's nice to see him. I know his mother is having some surgery, pretty extensive surgery on Monday, so God works in mysterious ways, and
That's
what
right.
a great experience for their family.
Well, great for him. That's what this league is all about.
No doubt.
And what number did you say that was in the organization? Not to put you on the spot, but it's in the 30s,
yeah,
right?
I believe we're at, with these two gentlemen today, I believe we're at 33.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the mission of this league is. So for all you young players out there who have that desire to get picked up and keep that career going, there's no doubt that this league is going to be the best league for you, because we're going to have your future in its best interest versus just going out there and trying to win games. And when guys struggle a little bit, you release them, and then they end up out of a job in other leagues. But with us, we see the potential, and we develop those guys, and we give them a chance, and certainly we give them a chance to fail. And that's exactly what happened with Kyle today. So his dream's coming true.
Ground ball to first, Polchin in the hole. Nice throw over to Cronin covering, but it's the Diamond Hoppers that get on the board first with a Luke Johnson solo shot to left field, his 7th of the year. We'll pause for a moment. You're listening and watching Friday Night Baseball from Jimmy John's Field right here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. Home run by Luke Johnson for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And they have a 1-0 lead, as now they will face a newcomer not just to the Diamond Hoppers and Dugan Darnell, but the Northfield native new to this league. And so far what we know about him is he pitched at Adrian, was primarily a position player, batted .317, had 94 RBIs. at Division III Adrian for the Bulldogs. 6 home runs, 32 games played. But, Chris, 3-1 with a .39 ERA, 8 saves, and 14 strikeouts per 9. What is it with this guy? Can a D3 guy hang with those kinds of numbers? Something must have been appealing.
Well, without a doubt. The guy competes. He's got a good makeup. But, he comes Adrian College. I mean, they've won the MIAA, it seems like, 15 out of the last 18 years. Craig Rainey does a hell of a job there. And, they're not your typical Division III program. They're a powerhouse, and they would compete in the GLIAC and other Division II conferences. So there's you go to Adrian and play, that means you can play.
Sure. Understood. This is Dugan Darnell, and he comes out at 6'2", 185, right-handed pitcher, obviously, and again, the 8 saves and a .39 ERA, sort of an awkward front foot step wide of the forefoot. There's a grounder back to the mound off the glove of Dugan, and trying to scoop it up was Geely, but he really had no chance. Cortez runs well, and he's on. We'll see how they score that, but I would assume that would be a base hit. What do you think, Skip?
Yeah, definitely got to be a hit, especially with the way Cortez runs.
So here comes Ryan Dobson. This is a lineup that is gaudy on paper. Dobson will be followed by Will Johnson. And then Pulshin is in the hole, the first sacker for Brian Kluppy. Rhymes with puppy. He's 3 weeks new, almost a puppy in this league.
Absolutely.
Good size lead at first for Cortez. As Darnell comes to the set, and there is a pitch that is off speed and ephus looking, but not. And the count grows to 1-0. What was that?
Pitching backwards. Don't be surprised if Cortez takes off in one of these next 2 pitches.
Cortez can run 9 stolen bases in 13 attempts. Not running there as the pitch is fouled back. 1-0 Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Trying to snap this skid of losing. They've lost 4 of their last 6 and 3 of their last 4. Cortez with a bulkier lead. And a swing and a fly ball left field. Adams circling it, makes the catch, and he dropped the ball. He'll pick it up. Cortez was 3/4 the way to second base, and that could have been a sun-infested fly, but that's not a ball we're used to seeing Pat Adams miss in left field.
No, he booted one last night against us down the left field corner. He's primarily a center field or center fielder. Ball comes off the bat a little bit different, but I would be willing to bet you he would admit that he should have had that one for sure.
So if you're Darnell, you've given up really a hard shot back to the mound, but perhaps one you could have fielded. Could have been out number 1, and out number 2 was a sure out number 2 potentially in left field by your sure-handed left fielder.
That's very uncharacteristic of a Paul Noce managed club. His first 3 years, he's had Gold Glove caliber guys all over the field. So, I guess for lack of a better term, when it rains, it pours sometimes. But the good news is Darnell's 1 pitch away from eliminating some pressure for him.
Double play depth for Geely and Broussard up the middle for the Eastside defense. Looking a little bit Baltimore Oriole-ish tonight, kind of fresh. The black tops, the gray pants. This is Will Johnson, the left fielder. Upright, right-handed stance. Runner's edge off of first and second. Ground ball to third. Could be 2. Touches third, throw to first, and they got him on a double play.
That's a big-time play, made a big-time pitch. And the key to that was Dugan Darnell getting ahead 0-1 right there.
So 2 outs on 1 bouncer to third by Will Johnson. Cortez erased for out number 1. And the fine throw over to first by Diaz. And, hey, how about a little credit for Zach Gray at first base for scooping that baby?
Yeah, fantastic play. Such a good guy, too.
He's a good story.
No doubt.
Jake Pulshin, the first baseman, has a Westsider out at second base hanging out, trying to tie this thing up. Pitch over for a strike. And how key is getting ahead for a guy who may have some nerves, Chris, and may have some early jitters?
Well, it's the key. It really it defines the whole at bat. You know, you get down as a pitcher 1-0. You get it's a good hitter's count, and you want to avoid hitter's counts at all costs. But that's going to bleed. It looks like
it is a bleeder to right. Johnson's going to let it hit in, and here comes Cortez to score. Throw sails over the head of the catcher Hamilton, and rounding third, heading to third is Pulchin, in sliding safely ahead of the throw from the catcher Hamilton,
Yeah.
And just like that, we've got a tie game on a bleeder to right that Chris Newell called correctly.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too because Darnell got caught being a spectator right there. So all you young players out there watching, play like that as a pitcher, you got to get your butt behind home plate to back up that throw to keep that runner from advancing. But at the same time, the right fielder's got to hit his cutoff man.
So Pulchin advances to third on the error on the right fielder, Luke Johnson. Here's Dan Williams, the former Unicorn. 1-1 our score. You got the feeling this is a Friday night firework offensive display just waiting to happen. Last time these two teams met back on the 28th of July last week, it was 6-4 victory for the Westsiders. They've won 7 straight over the Hoppers. Off-speed pitch misses, and now behind the 2-0 is the rookie right-hander from Northville, Michigan. Oh, about an hour and change from here, west and a little south. Trying to strand a runner at third in his debut. He's had a little bit of bad luck. I'm not sure how many of those, if that will be earned. It will not, I would assume. That will not be an earned run, the one run he has given up. There was an error by Adams that makes it an unearned run. Dan Williams awaits the 2-1, and he's ahead of the count. Williams batting just 194 for the Woolly Mammoths in 17 games, but he was a little different player before he has moved over to the Westside.
Yeah,
Chris.
he had a bum hamstring and hurt sidelined him a little bit, but he's been tearing it up as of late. But not a bad idea if I would be telling my guy right now, you got a base open, don't cave in. He's swinging the bat pretty well. Let's take our chances with the right-hander on deck.
That right-hander is Ethan Whisker, the right fielder. Full count, 2-out pitch, runner at third in a tie game, and we'll reset it and do it again. Dan Williams, a guy that left the Unicorns last year for a wedding. His own.
His own wedding, yeah.
That's the only excuse that would be forgivable.
Yeah. But, he left him at the most critical part of the time, too, right as the playoffs started.
Yeah.
And I know they could have used them.
Well, Darnell allows the walk. As you mentioned, he'd rather face the righty and Whisker, a guy who is not having the kind of campaign earlier this year. But, boy, has he come on as of late. Their leading hitter at .322 and 5 home runs. That power has come back.
Yeah, he carried this club last year for about a 2.5, 3 week stretch. So he's definitely got the capabilities.
27 runs driven in to lead this team, and he cuts it some high cheddar. And he whiffed. Runners at the corners in a tie game at 1. Couple errors for Eastside have made things difficult on the rookie in his debut in Dugan Darnell. He's wide of the zone here. Good-sized crowd on hand. If you're on M59, come on through.
Firework Friday.
Yeah, it's not too late, really. Runners edge off at the corners as we await the 1-1 with 2 outs in a tie game, bottom of the first. Westside up to bat. And a floater. What was that? A little changeup on the outside corner?
Yeah, I think he just left a slider up, it looked like. Just didn't finish it.
Westside, winners of 6 of their last 7 games. Half game ahead of the Beavers.
Thanks for bringing that up.
And the skipper to my right. Just keeping you honest.
We
on
love
your
that.
toes. Somebody's got to when you're away from Beth.
Absolutely.
Right?
Thanks for that.
No problem. Ethan Whisker, the right-handed batter, fits up. In the hole right behind him is Javon Shelby, a guy who drove in 6 runs against these Hoppers last time. Slider wide of the zone.
Javon's a good guy. Remember his dad by chance?
What's the last name?
John Shelby. Played
center fielder, Baltimore Orioles.
Yep, won a World Series with Baltimore in 83, and then again in 88 with the Dodgers.
Oh, wow.
That's
a cool nugget.
Was a Tiger, too, for a little while.
I recall that. Early 90s, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
2-2 out, pitch, 2 on. Got him with a big strikeout on a tall fastball.
Yeah, that was a big pitch.
And the first professional strikeout for Dugan Darnell. But some bad luck and some bad defense behind him ties this game at 1 aside. We go to the top of the second. You're watching USPBL YouTube. Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. My name is Chad Bush. I'm alongside the manager of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Chris Newell, as we go to the top of the second inning. And the road team up, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, 14-20 on the year. Under Paul Nochi, trying to get things turned around. Trying to get things turned around here with Brad Hamilton as catcher. And he pops one foul, and that thing's going to get out of play and into a customer. So your team plays tomorrow night?
No.
No?
No, we're off again until Wednesday. We play Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Wow, that long of a weekend. They leave you with that long of a weekend and your players. What do you do, honestly? I know we can have some fun with it, too. You can tell me what you do for real.
Yeah.
But what do you tell the players, and what do you do during long breaks like this? Do you try to get away, or do you stay and scout?
You know what, sometimes we do. I'll give you a great example. This morning, you know, we won a game last night, a big one that we needed to get.
Congrats.
But you know, it was, I'll be honest, it was the worst. I never felt more worse after a win in my entire life. We just, our pitching finally stepped up, and our defense kind of let it down. So we had an infield practice this morning at 7:30 in the morning. I got their butts out of bed, and you know, it tells you a lot about the type of guys that I have. They actually beat me to the field, and we got a lot of work in today, and we'll get some work in tomorrow. And then I'll give them Sunday off. Some of them have family coming in, enjoy the family. And then we'll have a little light workout Monday, and then we'll have a good workout Tuesday. Get ready for that ball smoked.
There's a line drive in the right center field gap off the bat of Zach Gray.
Get him to third.
And Zach Gray's going to hold. And if Chris Newell was coaching, he would have had that right arm on fast forward and accelerate. You thought he should have gone for 3.
No, that's why Paul's older, more mature than me. Paul made the right decision.
He's talking about Paul Noce, the third base coach and the manager of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who now have their second hit. And the leadoff man on with, the number 2 batter in this inning on with 1 out. And here comes Sebastian Diaz, the third baseman. Cronin ready. Pitches and cut on and miss. That's that slider, and you'll see that about 50% of the time. That's his best pitch, and kind of that slow, late break that he'll throw in any count, Chris. And
he will.
We saw it there, didn't we?
Yep, and he's got variations in the velocity on that too. So that's why he is who he is. He's tough to hit, but he's made 2 great pitches right now in a tough situation. So if I'm Diaz, I'm still sitting fastball, and that can't happen right there. You can't get blown up 0-2 looking fastball. When you get 2 strikes, you're always looking for a fastball. Even when the guy's got a fantastic off-speed pitch, you have to look fastball so you can adjust to something soft, and he just got frozen right there.
Frozen indeed. Sebastian is down, and here comes Ashante Wheatley. That's his second strikeout of the inning for the right-handed pitching.
This guy likes to listen to his entire walk-up song before he gets in the box.
A little Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Who wouldn't? I'd step out a couple times. There's a foul out of play, up and out of here, right, headed for M59. So what about you? We talked about your players, but you're going to have some fun. Aren't you going to do some things to get away a little bit? You won't be here every night.
Nope. So tomorrow, after our practice, I'm playing in Churko and Company, little charity softball game. I'm going to be like an honorary coach that they're having. So it's at University of Detroit. Starts at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Such a great cause and part of the Detroit Sports Podcast. Those guys do such a heck of a job.
Awesome.
So I'm delighted and honored to be one of their guests, and should get home around 5:30, and then I'll be on the boat till about 2 a.m. having a good time with my friends and some family members.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Sounds like a solid weekend. A little bit of good cause, charity, a little bit of fun, a little pleasure. Well, that's great. This is Ashante Wheatley. He's in a 1-2 count with 2 outs. Eastside trying to regain the 1-0 lead they once had after the top of the first. Swing and a miss with a pitch well out of the zone. Striking out the side and getting Hamilton, Diaz, and now Ashante Wheatley to retire the side. We go to the bottom half of the second inning, still tied at 1 from Jimmy John's Field. All right, set to go bottom of the second inning. Chris Newell, kind enough to join us from the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. His team sitting right now in second place in the standings, but just a half game out of first place behind the Mammoths, who are up right now. This is Javon Shelby.
This is not a guy you want to fall behind in the count to.
That's exactly what Dugan Darnell has done. He's given up 2 hits, but
So
2 errors behind him.
Yeah, so right now you can't cave in. You still got to go something off speed because he's sitting dead red.
He did, and he grounds it to third. Diaz backs up,
Good
throws
play.
it across the diamond, and fires a strike to first to Gray for 1 out here in the bottom half of the second.
Next up, the catcher, number 20, Jake Barbie.
Here's Jake Barbie, the catcher. .278 on the year. He has driven in 20 runs for the league-leading Woolly Mammoths. Tied at 1, bottom of the second inning on a beautiful Friday night, a firework Friday night from Jimmy John's Field. Shadows cast just in front of the first base line, about 15 feet inwards to the diamond. Tough to see in shadows like that or weather like this right now?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot better for the hitters right now, but early on in the ball game, definitely the pitcher's advantage.
Check swing by Barbie. That was in the dirt. Didn't go. 1-1 the count with 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning in a tie game at 1. Outfield regular depth, straight up. Infield back. On the lefty Barbie, who fouls one back. Count 1-2. Sixth on the team in batting average.
He's putting together a nice little year. You know, he had a good bounce back. He struggled a little bit last year, but put a lot of work in the offseason and came back stronger, a little bit more confident, and the results are showing.
Cut out and missed there, and he's down on strikes. Or was that a backwards or was that a swing? Did he cut it that?
He took a changeup. It looked like.
Yeah. So out on
2 strikes. You gotta expand that strike zone. Put the ball in play.
So that is the first strikeout for Dugan Darnell. And with 2 outs, chance for a 1-2-3 inning. Here's Drew Kitson trying to change that mindset. The right-handed hitter fouls one back. He had been out for most of the year. He came back a couple games ago, and all he did was homer in his first game back.
He's got a flair for the dramatic. He made a Sports Center highlight play last year.
Is that right?
Yeah, first one in our league's history, and robbed the guy of a home run. Tremendous athlete, tremendous guy.
233 hitter as he looks at one low and away. 233, couple home runs, 7 runs driven in. He's cut that hair. Boy, that was a fine feature, and it's long gone like a Ernie Harwell home run call.
That's right.
That's a bummer. He had some nice lettuce. Who made him do that?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe his girlfriend.
He's in a 1-2 count, trying to keep this bottom of the second alive for the first place Westside Woolly Mammoths. Pitch outside. So 2-2 the count. Now it's starting to come alive. The Chevy Pavilion heating up out there. As Kitson awaits the pitch, outside check swing. Did he go? No. Ball gets away, but no harm, no foul, as Brad Hamilton will chase it down. Full count with 2 outs. Kitson trying to get something going against this rookie right-hander, Dugan Darnell. Out of Wentzville, Missouri. Went to Missouri Baptist, did this right-handed hitter. As he fouls one away. Has battled back from that injury. And Homer just coming back. What a boost that gives. That'll heal you quickly. Had a home run before he was injured. Just a week into the season. Full count pitch. And we'll do it all again. We'll have a special honoring at the end of this inning as Kyle Ologist and Noah Goatsees of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Ologist from the Beavers are both going to come out and get celebrated as they were signed by the Colorado Rockies from Major League Baseball. Off-speed pitch misses, and so on with a 2-out walk is Drew Kitson. And that'll flip the lineup card over. Here comes Sonny Cortez, who singled back in the first. So that's cool. They're into the 30s in getting guys signed. Now this league in its 4th season, USPBL, and that's what it's all about. And Ologist and Goatsees both with gaudy numbers. Goatsees with 51 innings pitched. And a guy that shows up on nearly all of the top statistics in pitching. Goatsees was a guy that also had opponents bat .261 against him. Just 53 hits. But very effective, especially in the strikeouts, 50 in 11 games. So here is Sonny Cortez with a man on first and 2 outs in this tie game at 1 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Glad you could join us on the USPBL YouTube channel. My name is Chad Bush. And you heard from the manager of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, Chris Newell. He had to step aside for that ceremony. No ceremony complete without Chris Newell being a part of it, so he'll go down there and give out this great award of honoring these 2 contract signers, and Ologist and Goatsees. On at first is Kitson. He's going, and the pitch is fouled back, so we'll stay at 1 and 2. Ethan Whisker, the top hitter for Westside, with a .322 average. Will Johnson right behind him at .321. And Johnson is in the on-deck circle. Darnell ready after a long pause and deals that off-speed pitch. It misses too tall. This is a far cry from Division III, and where he last pitched this spring at Adrian as a Bulldog. Numbers were gaudy, though. .39 ERA, 3-1. But most importantly, a 14 strikeout per 9 innings pitched ratio. And as Chris Newell mentioned, Adrian's no slouch. They're usually the leaders of the MIAA. Top Division III conference in the state of Michigan. Checks the runner at first, Kitson, who's on with a 2-out walk. Just 2 hits given up by the rookie through an inning and 2/3. He'll keep Kitson honest back at first. Kitson has yet to steal a base. He's 0 for 1, but he hasn't had many opportunities. As that ball is skied to shallow left center field. Coming on as Pat Adams circles the baseball and makes a one-handed catch in shallow left field for out number 3. So Cortez is retired, and that's all in the second inning. The Westside Woolly Mammoths strand a runner as we go to the top half of the third inning. 1-1 your score. We're back in a moment. And a great scene right now as Andy Appleby, the CEO of this league, and Chris Newell, of course, the manager of the Beavers, is down there. And big hugs around, especially for his guy, Kyle Ologis, right-handed pitcher whose numbers have been very impressive this year. And also a big hand for Noah Goetze from the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Sad to see those two go, but so happy to watch him walk away and into professional baseball. Big hug for Scott McDonald down there. And all right, here we go. Third inning, tied at 1. Diamond Hoppers trying to get something going. They started this game with a 1-0 lead on a Luke Johnson home run to left. It was his 7th of the year, but Westside would come back in the first and would score on a bloop single by Jake Polchin. And so here we are, top of the third. Here's Brant Broussard, the former product of the Bayou down at LSU. Right-handed hitter to start things here in the third. 250 hitter, 1 home run, a couple of runs driven in. The count evens at 1-1 after the slider gets over for Mr. Matt Cronin. Another slider over for a strike. Dipped over the outside part of that plate. 1-2 the count on this beautiful Firework Friday evening. Swing and a fly ball left field. In the corner, chasing Will Johnson. He'll make the catch just in front of the warning track. That thing just kept curling back. 315 down the left field line. And a good job by Will Johnson to get over there and retire Brant Broussard after his 312-foot fly ball to left field right down the line. So top of the lineup, here's Pat Adams, who was retired back in the first after a long at-bat. Looks at a pitch outside the zone. Leads this league in batting average, 371. 1-1 the count as he fouls one back. Had a 29-game hit streak earlier this year. He's driven in 17 runners, 3 home runs. The Wayne State Warrior. Pitch misses belt high, just a shade outside. 2-1. Adams gets it back in his favor. He scored 28 runs. He's walked 35 times. Leads its team in nearly every offensive category. Strike called there, 2-2.
So a little trivia for you, Chad.
Yes, sir. First off, great job down on the field as we await the 2-2, now 3-2. to Pat Adams with one out here. Yes, sir,
Yeah,
Chris.
good pitch. So a little trivia for you. Speaking of Wayne State,
Yeah.
you said the Warriors. What was their former nickname?
Well, considering I was
You went there, didn't you?
yeah, so it's unfair, but it's a good trivia question.
Okay.
And I want our fans out there to think about it.
Okay.
It's a very good trivia question.
And then my next one, and I know you do the play-by-play for Eastern Michigan,
I do.
but their old nickname before the Eagles. Used to love that.
All these teams that I'm associated with keep changing their
Right.
names.
Well, the Beavers are going to stay the Beavers. Just remember that.
Adams is out on strikes on a solid pitch from Matt Cronin. Cronin has Cade now. Count him up, 1, 2, 3, 4 of his last 5 hitters, 4 of his last 6. That slider misses, though. 3 of his last 4, how about that? And 4 of his last 6. He's cruising. Here's Freddie G. Lee. Ground ball too short. Easy play for Dobson. He'll fire across to first. Polchin retires it. And the Hoppers are out. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. We're still tied at 1 from Jimmy John's Field. You're watching USPBL Baseball on YouTube. Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. My name is Chad Bush alongside Chris Newell. Glad to have the manager of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in the house. And you've had some success in your time here, and talk a little bit about what you've been able to do in your 4th year. 2 championships back-to-back. Your team, a lot of pressure this year coming in for that 3-peat. Just talk about the run and how things have been somewhat of a challenge to try to live up to heavy expectations that you've set for yourself.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been more rewarding than I would have thought after the 3+ years, and starting with the amount of guys that we've had signed out of here. When Andy set this thing in motion and had his vision, I don't think anybody in their wildest dreams would have thought that we'd be 30-some-odd guys signed after the 3.5 years. So that's a testament to, one, the amount of good, dedicated players that are out there that don't give up and persevere. And Andy's league has certainly provided an avenue for that. But as far as us personally, it's been rewarding. We finished with the best record all 3 years, got that number 1 seed. Unfortunately, fell short in the first year, but back-to-back titles has been super rewarding, and obviously it's because I got the right players that have came in. But now we're fast forward into this year, and a lot of pressure. We're not feeling the pressure yet, but we got a chance to make history and be the first ever independent minor league franchise to win a 3-peat. So there's a lot at stake. But I'd be lying to you if I said that it's going to be easy. We got
Sure.
We got 3 great teams that are gunning for us, and our guys knew coming in, especially the returning guys, and that we've got a bullseye on our back, and I embrace it. That means we have something and have accomplished something that the others want. So it's going to force our guys to go out and play their best baseball each and every night.
Dobson laces one to right, the number 2 hitter for Brian Cluppy. And that'll be retired by Luke Johnson. So that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Still tied at 1. Both teams with 1 run. Both teams with 2 hits. The difference is the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have 2 errors. And really lucky that just 1 run has bit them after those 2 errors. And a nice job, really, by Dugan Darnell in his debut. Fastball outside is called a strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Will Johnson, the batter, 321, 2 home runs, 11 runs driven in.
Yeah, he had a great career at Eastern Kentucky. Hit a lot of homers.
Fouls 1 at the plate.
Darnell looks confident out there. He's working quick, getting the ball. He's got great mound presence right now.
303, 16 home runs, and 47 runs driven in. His senior season, Will Johnson, for the Colonels of Eastern Kentucky, as Chris Newell told you. Productive season. Darnell looking for his 2nd strikeout as a pro, and that one just dipped outside.
He had it.
He wanted it. He headed off the mound, and it was just 1 out anyway, even if it was strike 3.
I'd like to give a little shout out too, though, to Kyle Ologies for just persevering. You know, he had a rough go of things as of late, you know, this season, and getting released by the Unicorns, as we mentioned earlier, and then, you know, getting an opportunity to come keep his career going, if you will. And, you know, he never got down in the dumps. He looked at it as a great motivation for him, and you know, he's talking to him down there. I don't know if I've ever seen a player more grateful for this opportunity than Kyle. So job well done with everybody involved, and best of luck to these 2 guys. This is such a rewarding night for them.
Yeah, and for you and for this organization and for the head coach, Paul Nochi, and all the folks behind the scenes that are recruiting and coaching and making sure this field is prepared, and you know, all the folks behind, of course. But strike 3 called. Will Johnson is out on strikes, and
yeah, this whole experience. I've been in minor league stadiums my entire career, and they just have a knack for doing it right here. They think outside the box. They're pioneers. It doesn't matter where we're at. I could be managing winter ball in Palm Springs, California, or Vero Beach, Florida.
Oh, that sounds so much fun.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Have you done that, really?
I have. And,
my.
you know, I've been able to sign a lot of great players who have been instrumental and impact guys in our league. But, you know, everybody knows of the USPBL, and everybody talks about the environment, you know. And case in point, we had a guy last night. He says, I've never been here. Never been here to a game, and looking forward to it. And I asked him before our little pregame interview out front. I said, "What what brought you out here?" He says, "Well, I love baseball, and 2, I've heard this buzz for a long time, and I figured I got to get out here." So he saw a heck of a game, but that's what this is.
That's right.
And when a game is out of reach and it's 10 o'clock at night, there's still a bunch of fans here.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see that any other place.
Long, deep drive by Polchin, 306 hitter, but he's got some long ball pop at 3 home runs. Those are warm stories, and you know what? There's many of those, Skip, that we've heard like that. But that's cool to hear and good to see, and we're seeing it with attendance. Attendance doesn't lie.
Nope.
And attendance is one thing, right? And then fans in their seats and out in the pavilion, out in the – those don't lie, and hey, look, it's a pretty well-attended Friday night here in August.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, the consensus, it seems to be that, the fan feedback after the first 3 years, you know, what makes the fans want to come? What's the best part of your experience?
Yeah.
And, you know, it might be the wiffle ball field. It might be the in-between innings. It might be the bands. It might be the, whatever is going on. But it seems like it's always the baseball. So that's for us guys who are trying to put that good product out there each and every day, it's nice to know that we're being noticed, if you will. But at the end of the day, it's about the players.
That's Chris Newell. He's the manager of the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. They're off until next Wednesday, and he's kind enough to give us commentary here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Meanwhile, a 2-out walk dealt by young Dugan Darnell, and out to have a word with him is Chris. Who's out to have a word with him?
Manager Paul Nochi.
That is Paul Nochi. He goes out.
A.K.A. the Silver Fox.
How does it work? Do managers typically come out for conferences? Do pitching coaches come out in this league? How does it work?
Well, in the big leagues, obviously your pitching coach goes out to settle them down. Very rarely will a manager go out there. But when it's time to pull the pitcher and replace him, the manager always goes out there. But I've always liked to be the guy to go out there.
Williams
trying to build that
up.
trying to get the guys out of the mound, trying to just kind of settle them down. And oftentimes my mound visits have absolutely nothing to do with the game of baseball.
What's your best joke, or what's like a canned, maybe not a joke, but your best, like, I'm going to loosen him up somehow with this?
That's a great question.
I'm good for one of
yeah, a lot of non-PG ones, but case in point, a couple years ago, I had a guy, Jake Welch, and who's now pitching in Evansville, and was such an integral part of our first championship. And he was struggling. I could see his body language. He was stressing out, and it was a tough situation. We had runners on first and second, 1 out, and with a 1-run lead. And I walked out there. He had just walked 2 guys, and I walked out there, and waited. Yeah, he waited for me to kind of talk, and he just kind of looked at me, and I says, "Are you wondering why I'm out here?" And he's, he's all hyped up. He's like, "Yeah." And I says, I just wanted to come out here and tell you that I actually think that I look better in my uniform than you do. So now start this guy off with a first pitch slider, and let's get our double play and get the heck out of here. And he did just that. And he comes in. He had the biggest grin, laughing his tail off, coming out to the dugout. So, sometimes you got to jump on them. Yeah, you got to get in their butt. But for the most part, it's just trying to break up the monotony and just switch it up a little bit.
Dan Williams is in a 1-2 count with 2 outs. They got the shift on as over is Brant Broussard, the shortstop, playing behind second base on the first base side of it. As a matter of fact, as that changeup misses high, and the second baseman in regular positioning, and Freddie Geely.
Chad, what's your thought on the shifts here in professional baseball?
I think they work. I think they should stay. I believe that they are a fun additive to the game.
I couldn't agree with you more.
There's a ground ball wide of first, fielded by Zach Gray in foul territory before it got to the first base coach, and his name is, for the Westside Woolly Mammoths,
Paul Niggebreger.
I'm glad you said it.
Yep.
I didn't even know his name, let alone how to pronounce it.
So Paul Niggebreger, he's been with 2 years ago. He came in late about this time of year as an assistant with the Unicorns and Jim Messian, and then last year, he was our field coordinator, which kind of was our director of practices and, things like that, and certainly helped in the development, and then was in that role this year until the Mammoths made a change at the helm and obviously promoted Brian Kluppy.
Goes the runner, pitch fouled away. We'll redo 3-2 again. Sorry, Chris.
No, you're good. And then Paul, just kind of made sense. We had a guy in-house already who's been an assistant in this league. And
we'll give him love. He's making his coaching debut this year. That's awesome, at least in this league. Runner on first, 2 outs. Tie game at 1, bottom of the third. Woolly Mammoths, the top team at bat. Williams is going to send it sky high behind second base. Geely over and makes it in routine second base positioning for out number 3. We go to the 4th inning. We're still tied at 1. We thought we were going to have an offensive explosion. Who knows? We still might. Don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching USPBL right here on our YouTube channel. All right, everybody's excited. We got the T-shirt toss. 1-1 your score, Chris, as we go to the fourth inning. And low-scoring affair. You look at a guy making his debut in Dugan Darnell. We knew he signed today. He just got in. They dropped him off at the door. His ink is still a little bit wet. And the guy comes out, and so far, I mean, this kid's thrown 3 innings, and he's shown he belongs here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, the reality is he should have given up 0 runs up to this point.
That's right.
A couple errors behind him, plays that really should have been made. But a lot of young guys can kind of fold under that, and he's just he's getting the ball. He's working quick. He hasn't zero bad body language. He's still competing, and his tempo has been the same since the very first pitch. And that's a guy right there who is absolutely in command of what he's trying to do.
Yes, he is, and so is Matt Cronin, who has matched him. Cronin 3-0 on the year with a 2.19 ERA, and all the talks are, and it's really no secret, Chris Newell, that he's the next guy potentially to go, is he not?
Yeah, it'd be hard to vote against him. I mean, the numbers don't lie. The velocity's there, the pitchability is there, and let's be honest, it's why shouldn't it be him? I mean, and if I'm him, and I'm seeing these 2 guys go tonight on the night that I'm pitching, that's even more motivation in itself right there.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. A guy that's even tougher in 3-2 counts is Cronin. He's that slider, 68% usage, really trust it in 3-2 counts and very effective with it. We got a little bit of a delay right now. I don't know if it's field maintenance or cleat maintenance, but we are awaiting the start of the top of the fourth between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Westside Woolly Mammoths. So far, a run apiece in both runs in the first inning. A solo home run by Luke Johnson. And Luke Johnson will lead things off for the Diamond Hoppers whenever we get things started. And the run for Westside, as they answered back in the bottom half of the first, was on that bloop single to right by Jake Polshin. So I don't know what's going on here. It looks like they've got they're herding off the folks down the right field line, and I don't know. But nonetheless, it's more time to go get some delicious food, some drinks, some cold beverage. What's your favorite food here? I'm getting a little bit hungry. I don't know about you.
Huge Hungry Howie's guy, huge pizza guy.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Hungry Howie's. Come on, Chris. I don't know you very well, but come on. That's not the answer I want.
Well,
I want something
okay.
unique. Give me something
Dippin'
really.
Dots, fine. There you go, Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots in a cold craft beer, I'm in.
There I'm talking. Now,
Yep.
What about the nachos, the hot? They do
Yeah, I haven't
something
had-
crazy with a hot dog, don't they?
I don't know, I haven't had them.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought I saw a hot dog that was like 8 feet long and had about 7 or 8 toppings on it,
Well, that sounds pretty good.
give or take 2 or 3. All right, we're ready for baseball. It all sounds good. And the pitch is taken up high. This is Luke Johnson, who hit his 7th home run of the year in this first inning. Just missed a bases-loaded grand slam the other night. Guy who also plays DH and catcher.
Mm-hmm. Good player. He attended our senior showcase we had back on June 10th.
That one's laced into the gap, left
Great
center
play.
field. On to
Great
make
play.
the catch. Diving, sprawling out is Will Johnson. So Johnson on Johnson crime to start things here in the fourth in this tie game at 1.
And that's just a big play because that's the first out of the inning. It sets the tone. If he misses that, we got a runner in scoring position. Hard to believe he's been here. He obviously wasn't here the first month of the year, and he's second in the league in homers right now.
Is that right? 7 home runs puts him up second best. Strike called. Now, have you seen the same kind of thing with your baseballs and the numbers and the effect of the baseballs and amount of home runs and the power numbers that are showing up like they are in Major League Baseball?
We haven't, but the history in our league the first 3.5 years is the hitting always struggles early on. The weather's a little chilly. Ball doesn't carry as much. And usually right around the middle of June is when the power numbers start to go up. Guys are getting a little bit more acclimated. But I was talking to one of my longtime players who's in AAA right now with Tampa Bay, and he's never been a power guy. And he's leading the International League in hitting. Expected to be in the big leagues this year as a two-way guy, actually, believe it or not. And I asked him about the balls being juiced, and he looked at me with a straight face. He says, Chris, I've got 9 home runs right now before the All-Star break. I haven't hit 9 home runs in my entire 5-year minor league career. So they're definitely juiced at the bigger levels.
Sure. Okay, so you're seeing a little bit of difference there. That's interesting. This is Brad Hamilton, wearing number 25. Not the Brad Hamilton that you've seen in Hollywood. Pitch outside.
It might be.
It might be.
Yeah, probably not, though.
Probably not. You remember from the good old days of Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Probably the greatest classic movie of all time.
1-1 game still with 2 outs and a 1-2 count, and the base is clear. Jimmy John's Field, what was your favorite scene of that movie?
All of them. I mean, Spicoli's.
Give me one.
Well, okay, the pizza. In the classroom.
Who ordered the double sausage and pepperoni?
Mr. Hand.
But if you're here and I'm here, doesn't that make it our time? Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
That's a great one. Mr. Hand. 2-2 pitch, 2 outs, check swing. Did he go? They'll appeal to first.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Says the umpire down the right field line at first base. Good call. Chris Newell agrees.
Yeah, I do. And as a catcher, you want that umpire on your side. You don't want to be barking back at the umpire after a iffy call, because there's a good chance you're not going to get that call next inning.
6th strikeout of the game for Matt Cronin, and his 37th of his season. All right, we'll take a timeout. We're still tied at 1. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th. Halfway through. Hang in there, won't you? You're watching YouTube Baseball USPBL. Welcome back, and we've got a beautiful Friday night. The shadows have cast all across the field except for a little bit in front of the pitcher's mound and down the right field line. My name is Chad Bush. We want to say thank you so much to Chris Newell, the manager of the Bloomfield Birmingham Beavers, who was kind enough to join us here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Also want to give special thanks to Rich Borland for his help tonight in getting things ready for the broadcast. Of course, Scott McDonald. And we are set for bottom of the 5th baseball in this tie game at 1-1. 1-2-1. Ethan Whisker leads it off. Ethan Whisker, second in this league in batting average. In fact, the top 3 hitters in this league are all playing in this game, with Adams, Whisker, and Cortez. And then you can go further with Dobson and Polshin. And you've got your top 5 of the top 6 all in this game. Top hitters in this league. Here's the offering. It's fouled back. 1-1 the count. So the rookie right-hander Dugan Darnell has been the story of this game. He's pitching now into the 4th inning and has not given up an earned run. Not given up an earned run, and has given up just that error in left field, despite his team hanging in now, 1-1 the score. 7-game losing streak for these Eastside Diamond Hoppers to the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Their last win came against Utica, 7-5. Back in the 26th of last month. There's a pitch outside the zone. 3-1 now as Darnell falls behind. He walked 1 last inning, walked 1 in the second, and walked 1 in the first. So it would just be tradition if he walks someone here in the 4th. Whisker fouls it back. Ethan Whisker is second year in this league. He's out of Clio, Michigan. That's in the Flint area. And Hillsdale, Michigan is where he played his college ball for the Chargers Division II. Good program. 3-2, and it's lifted to right, and it's fairly deep. Back on the track and having room and making the catch is Luke Johnson for the out. So Whisker's out, and here comes the number 7 hitter in Javon Shelby, the son of John Shelby, the former major leaguer and part of the 1983 world champion Baltimore Orioles as an outfielder. Chris Newell broke that news to me. But you all knew that already, most likely. Here comes the shift. They will swing the second baseman, Geely, over behind the bag at second and just in front of the cutout of the grass. Shelby, .230 hitter, 7 home runs, 20 runs driven in with 1 out. The bottom of the 4th inning, the pitch outside the zone. .6'3" Dugan Darnell to the set, and the changeup is inside and low, and quickly behind 2-0 is the right-handed 22-year-old out of Northville, Michigan. Dugan Darnell making his debut. He offers a splitter. We've seen that. That was the last pitch, along with a curve and a four-seamer that tails a bit. But he's in jeopardy of walking what has been a inning tradition, a guy per inning. Javon Shelby, good-sized right-handed hitter, looks at a fastball right down the heart of Hall Road. 3-1 the count, 1 on, nobody on base. Outfielder Wheatley shifts towards the left field side. There's a little tapper in front of the plate, picked up and handled by Darnell easily, and there's 2 outs. Really nothing hit hard in this game outside of the home run to left by Luke Johnson. And you credit 2 pitchers. Matt Cronin we knew coming in. Guys hit .216 off him. Well, they have 2 hits and we're halfway through the game. That's understandable, but the job Dugan Darnell has done in his debut coming over from Adrian in his first professional game has been the surprise. Sometimes guys don't have scouting reports on guys. Let's, be honest. You don't know what he has to offer till he throws. That's a real truth. And that's not discrediting Darnell, but scouting reports get out. And players and managers adjust. Here's the 1-0, swung on and flown to center field. Routine play for Wheatley, who comes in a couple steps to end the inning. So, a solid job by Eastside hanging in. Have had enough. 7 is enough. As we go to the top of the 5th inning. 1-1 your score. Here comes Zach Ray. My name is Chad Bush. Glad you're with us. Thanks for hanging out on this Friday night. Appreciate Chris Newell joining us. Here comes Zach Ray, the first baseman under Paul Nochi. And he looks at a pitch outside the zone. Working now into the 5th inning is the right-hander Matt Cronin, who's looking for his 4th win of the year. As he evens the count 1-1, fouled at the plate. Gray doubled his last time up. He has one of the 2 hits, both extra base hits, ironically enough, against Matt Cronin. There's a line drive left field coming in as the center fielder Kitson, and he makes the catch, sliding down to a knee for out number 1. So that home run was the first home run given up by Matt Cronin this year. That home run to Luke Johnson back in the 1st inning. It was a streak that had run quite a long ways. You got to go all the way back to last year before he gave up a ding-dong. But the innings pitch count that were tallied before he gave up the home run was 37. 37 innings pitched before he gave up his first home run this year. That's pretty impressive. 1 out, nobody on, 2 strikes. Quickly ahead of Sebastian Diaz is Matt Cronin. Top of the 5th, tied at 1. Diaz struck out back in the 2nd in his first at bat. Diaz went to the same school, Nova Southeast, as a guy by the name of J.D. Martinez. Of course, the Boston Red Sox right fielder. Here's the 1-2. Nubber off the end of the bat that's going to curl to first and taking it himself, despite the hustle help over there, is Matt Cronin. So, 2 outs. And here comes Ashante Wheatley, who struck out back in the second inning to end the second. I mean, we have just not seen the kind of hard contact that we've grown accustomed to seeing on these warm July nights. A low-scoring affair. You look at the matchups these two teams have had going back this year in the 7 times they played. And a 10-run tally last time, a 6-4 count as that ball's popped up out of play. And, we get that. We got a souvenir. Young man in row 12. How about it? Just 3 rows in front of us. Good job, young man. High fives all around. All right. Love seeing that. Another happy customer. Ashante Wheatley, the batter, with 2 outs. The center fielder looks at one just inside. Cronin thought he had a strikeout. He has 7 strikeouts right now. The 1-1. Make it. Well, no. Apologize, that was a 1-1. Wheatley is out of LaPlace, Louisiana. He went to Southern University. Slider foul tipped into the glove. Did it hit the dirt first? Yep, not clean. Not caught clean by Mr. Jake Barbie. Cronin looking for his 8th strikeout. Won't get it. Ground ball to short. Scooped up by Dobson. Has to hurry to first. And a nice scoop by Polchin to get out of the inning. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Still tied at 1.
It's okay.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and we are welcomed by Chelsea Estes, who all the fans are used to seeing on the field as the on-the-field MC of Jimmy John's Field in the USPBL. But here we get a little bit of you on the microphones here on the YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is like an honor. I've always wanted to be on here. I sit in the press box and I watch the game, and I always wonder what it's like to have the headset on. And
well, it's like
the reality's coming true.
Rich is not here. Matt is not here, and Neil is not here. So it's like Dad's out.
Dad's out to play.
Dad's out to play. Chad's in. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. Even if I did, I wouldn't follow it necessarily.
You know what?
Scott McDonald's out somewhere. Andy, nobody's around.
No.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
Someone has to step in. You can't leave a headset just sitting there. I love it. No, I'm super excited. It's a great game.
Yeah, it is a
up.
great game.
I mean, we have players being signed tonight. It's a tied game. I mean, it's a gorgeous night for baseball. I mean, we couldn't ask for anything more. This is pure Michigan, your summer destination, right?
It is. It is just gorgeous out, and you talked about the players getting signed, and Kevin Ologis of the Beavers and Noah Goatsees of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. How cool, and the Rockies get them both.
I know,
Rockies plucking
package
both
deal
up.
here. You know, maybe they'll be on the same team come, spring training. I know they'll probably head down there for some, maybe fall ball or
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it, but I mean, it's pretty cool to have a buddy down there. I just kind of briefly talked to Kyle when I was hanging out downstairs before I did a Jimmy John's race around the bases, and he was just saying it hasn't sunk in. He said the best call was to Mom and Dad, and he said he's just so happy. He's just beaming with excitement. It just touches your heart to know these guys are working so hard, and the reality is it's coming true. It's like pinch me and wake me up from this dream, right?
Yeah, and Chelsea, did they talk about where they're actually going to report to, or were they not quite sure yet of where they would be heading, just somewhere within
Yeah.
the Rockies organization.
Yeah, Kyle had
Yeah.
no idea. He said that's what his mom's worried for. Where you staying? Where are you going? How can I reach you? So and he said, Mom, I only know as much as you do. He goes, but right now I'm just letting this all sink in.
That's awesome.
It's unreal.
Yeah. Well, the day is over for Dugan Darnell. It won't be one he soon forgets. He goes 4 full innings of work and does not give up an earned run. So he is out of this game, though he has been lifted. And the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have brought in Nate Sweeney, a 6'3", 200-pound right-hander out of Rio Rancho, New Mexico, and a former product of the Chicago Cubs.
I just made one quick appearance, but you know what? I'm going to be back after the 6th inning.
All right, well, the tease worked. We appreciate it, and we'll take you back and we can get you.
I cannot wait. I will be back, fans. Don't worry.
All right, go do your thing, girl. Thanks. That's Chelsea Estes. We appreciate her joining us. She'll be back. She's got all kinds of things going on. Pitch is fouled at the plate. This is Drew Kitson. Or check that, Ethan Whisker, rather. No, Drew Kitson. Apologies. To lead things off. Kitson walked his last time up in the second. We're still tied at 1, bottom of the 5th. Kitson has shown some pop. Did it in a fly ball, and he has homered twice, including 2 games ago in his first game back. He's in a full count here against the new pitcher and right-hander Nate Sweeney. And that one is flown to right center field on his horse, coming in Wheatley, and he'll give way to the right fielder Johnson for the first out of the inning.
Next up, the second baseman, number 2, Sonny Cortez.
Here comes Cortez, a guy that has been at the top of this league in hitting all season long, around the top at least. He's 3rd right now, 318 average, and he has scored 35 runs. That is most in the USPBL. 0-1 the count on this Friday night. Fireworks are coming later. Fans continue to pile in, enjoying all the food and beverages. See some nachos, some cotton candy, some Dippin' Dots, some craft beer. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on that off-speed pitch. Nate Sweeney, New Mexico native. And that one's fouled straight back. 92 with a heater that time. You look at Sweeney's numbers, and he's 2-4 with a 6.29 ERA, and he has started in 5 of the 15 appearances this year as a tapper. High chopper to first. Backing up is Gray, and flips to the pitcher covering in Sweeney, and they got him by a half step. Boy, that was a tough play, and Gray had to wait a bit for the pitcher Sweeney to get over there. He said, come on, young man. He let him, and they got him by a half step. Running well on that line is Cortez, who's a tough out. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, tied at 1, and here comes Ryan Dobson, the shortstop. A lot of weak hit ground balls. It's not a weak hit ball. That's a line shot, but right at the shortstop, Brant Broussard, for out number 3. Completed 5 innings. We go to the 6th. We're still tied at 1. Westside against the Eastside. Coming back, you're listening and watching the USPBL YouTube channel. Broussard to lead things off here in the top of the 6th inning. My name is Chad Bush. Thanks for hanging out and watching here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Special thanks to the friend of my right, Ryan Chenevere, who is scoring for us here up in the booth. Chelsea Estes to join us again, and Chris Newell has joined us earlier in this game. Continuing his work on the mound is Matt Cronin, who has given up just 1 run in his 5 innings of work. Fastball outside just misses, 1-1 the count. Brant Broussard, B-R-A-N-D-T, and really misses on that slider. Was fooled with that black bat. And a little, is that white or neon tape on the bottom of that bat? That one's lined down the left field line and foul by about 7 feet. Off-speed pitch was pummeled. Cronin, a.k.a. the best pitcher left who has not been picked up in this league with that filthy slider, has been fabulous tonight. Inside nearly hit. Broussard in a 2-strike count. The 2-2 with nobody out. Grounded to third and mishandled by Shelby. And so on with a leadoff reach base on error is Brant Broussard, the number 9 hitter. Here comes the leadoff man, Pat Adams, who's had a tough night, a couple of strikeouts. Or 1 strikeout, rather. Apologize to Pat. A guy that doesn't strike out often. Top hitter in this league, 371 coming in his 126 at-bats this year. 17 runs driven in. Runner at first, nobody out. Diamond Hoppers with an opportunity after the error. Did they call that an error? Was that not an error? They have not put that on the scoreboard. I'm not sure if it was an error, was it not, or no? Okay, they called it a hit, but they haven't scored it a hit. So we'll see. They have to make a decision either way, and we'll figure that out. That's okay. We move on. 1-2 the count. We know that, and this is Pat Adams, a tough out, but he has now been retired for the 3rd time in this game. This is a guy that had a 29-game reach base streak, and he will take a low, slow walk down the first base side to his dugout. So Adams unable to advance the runner at first in Broussard, and that'll bring up the number 2 hitter in Freddie G. Lee, Troy, Michigan's own, and a former Saint at Siena Heights. Broussard has not attempted a stolen base yet, but he's only had 6 at-bats in this league, playing in just his 2nd game. 2-0 the count. Freddie Geely. Jehle, and he grounds one to second. Could be 2. Flipped to short, Dobson for 1. Relay to first, not in time to get the speedy Geely. Out at second is Broussard, but safe at first is Geely with 2 outs. Here's Luke Johnson, who has one of the 2 hits and one of the 2 runs in this game. One of the 2 hits for his team, one of the 2 runs in this game. And he grounds one foul down the third base line. We have not had a hit since back in the first inning, according to my count, until now. There's a ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Turning the corner in the bag at second is Broussard, but he's going to hold tight. So a 2-out single up the middle by Luke Johnson, who now has 2 of the 3 hits in this game for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He's seeing the ball well. So a runner in scoring position for the first time since the first inning for either team, with 2 outs, and the pitch well outside as the pitch count continues to mount for the right-handed pitching Matt Cronin. Trying to get his team into the dugout for the 6th unscathed, but a threat here by Eastside on an error and a single up the middle. And they've got a runner in scoring position, threatening to break this 1-1 tie, which we've stood since the bottom of the first. And there's a line shot down the right field line, and that one's going to bounce off the wall. Young man will go snatch that thing as the sun is completely set here in Utica, Michigan, and Jimmy John's Field. Broussard edges off a second, and the pitch, and Mahalik drives it to right. In the gap, coming over his whisker to make the catch, and the threat is unscathed here in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We're still tied at 1 as the Diamond Hoppers strand 2 here at Jimmy John's Field. You're watching USPBL coverage right here on the YouTube channel. Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. Chad Bush with you here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Well, the Westside Woolly Mammoths lead this league in runs. 209 runs is what they've put up this year. That's about 6 runs per game. That is the most in the league for what they average, but they haven't even had a hit since back in the first inning on that bloop RBI single by Jake Polshin. Here comes Will Johnson, who grounded into a double play back in the first and struck out in the third. On in relief in his second inning of duty is Nate Sweeney. Darnell went 4 innings. He did not give up an earned run. He did give up 1 unearned run. Here's the pitch. Swing and a high fly ball left field, but Adams will have plenty of room. Major league fly, but not the distance. And out. To start this bottom of the 6th inning is Will Johnson. Here is the aforementioned Jake Polshin, who has the only RBI in this game for Westside on that bloop single to right that landed just in front of Luke Johnson. Polshin, a big right-handed hitter. 1 for 1. His only official at bat was that single. He also walked. Drove in his 15th run of the year. 306 hitter. Upright stance by the right-hander. Awaits the delivery, and that one's popped up down the first base side. Coming over near the wall is Gray, and he missed it. He just dropped it. That's the second time we've seen a diamond hopper just drop a fly ball. Now, you do have the netting down there. You do have the fence down there. So it's something to track, but Zach Gray will tell you that's a catch he makes. 0-2 the count as Jake Polshin will try to make it hurt. Nate Sweeney gets the sign for Mr. Hamilton, the 0-2. Waste pitch. No band out there tonight. I'm a little bummed. Was hoping we'd see the band out there, Ryan. Ryan's a little disappointed, too. We'll have to make sure we get some jams out there. It's such a cool thing to have, the wiffle ball area and that stadium and the band and the Chevy Pavilion. Not to mention the wonderful suites that are right behind home plate, closest in professional baseball. The 2-2 from Sweeney. A little, excuse me, fly ball right field that's going to jump down in the grass and sneak in for a base hit. How about that? Almost identical to the bloop single to right that Polchin had back in the first. And ironically enough, that is the first hit in this game since the first inning when Polchin blooped one to right and scored the game's only run for the Woolly Mammoths. So he now has 2 of the team's 3 hits. And Woolly Mammoths have something going here in the 6th inning. Here's Dan Williams, the former Unicorn, left-handed hitter. 194 hitter since he's joined 16 games ago. Has battled a hamstring injury. Does have power, 3 home runs. Polchin at first, edging off. And that one's grounded. Squibb to third. They had the shift on. Tough play throw to first, not in time. So having to range to his right was the third baseman, Sebastian Diaz, who was playing more like shortstop in the shift. And the number off the end of the bat goes as an infield single, the 4th hit. And so now after no hits for 3 innings, or 4 innings rather, Westside comes back, gets a little bloop to right, and an infield single for Williams. How many infield singles is Williams going to have this year? I don't know either. Not many. I know that. Oh, so 2 on, runners at first and second, 1 out, and an RBI opportunity for Ethan Whisker. You're back. Your mic was not ready. Now it is ready.
Now I'm back.
Thanks, Chelsea, for
back in action.
Jumping back in this booth. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Out in front of Ethan Whisker, who has struck out in this game.
Fun fact, I taught Ethan's brother how to dance.
Really?
I did back in high school. I was a high school dance coach, and his brother was one of the girls' partners, and little did you know.
Get out
I
of
taught
here.
him all that he knows.
Well, there's an inside off-speed pitch and a beauty by Sweeney that Whisker cuts. Now, where is he from?
Clio, I want to
Clio,
say.
that's right. I already told the
Yes,
fans that. I
so-
should know that. Clio and then Hillsdale
You're testing
College.
me on that one.
Yeah, that's right. I was. Nothing wrong with that. Pulsion at second, Williams at first, and the pitch wide, 2-2. Looking for this game's first run since back in the first inning. 1-1 tie, bottom of the sixth, 2 on and 1 out for one of the league's best hitters in Ethan Whisker, second in the league with a .322 average. And first in the league with 27 RBIs as he cuts it one and fouls it back. We stay at 2-2.
For a second, I thought his shoes were pink for Pink Out the Park tonight, but I think they're red.
You're pinked out.
I am pinked out.
Yeah, nice little
know?
pink top and white skirt. And
Get some,
I didn't even know about the pink. I guess there's some pink in my shirt.
with the lighting, the orange
Yeah.
takes on a hint of pink.
Strike three call. That was a nasty off-speed pitch. Looked like the changeup by Sweeney. So a strikeout, Whiskers out. That's a big out.
Yeah.
So runners at first and second, Chelsea, and 2 outs, and this is a big spot for Mr. Shelby.
Mr. Shelby had those grand slams and home runs last week, and this, if he could pull this out, this would be huge for the Mammoths. As they're, first in the USPBL, they're leading all 4 teams.
They are, with a record of 19-16. That 6 RBI outing that Chelsea's speaking of was the grand slam and a 2-run homer back in the 19th of July against these very diamond hoppers. So
A little deja vu here.
possibly.
Let's
We
see.
haven't seen any scoring in 1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4.5 frames. Throw back to second, covering was Geely, and they nearly caught the napping
That was-
Jake Polshin. Dropped the ball. Was he out if he catches the ball?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He was going to be out. I think that's why Sweeney was jumping up and down out of probably a little frustration. Can you imagine?
Yeah, the hopper's jumping.
The hopper's hopping.
Makes sense. 0-1, 2 tall and wide. 1-1, 2 outs, 2 on. The Westside Woolly Mammoths had not had a hit since all the way back in the first inning until this inning.
Wow.
When Polchin reached on a bloop single, he was the guy who had the single for the last hit back in the first. Williams follows it up with an infield single. A strikeout later, Javon Shelby in an action moment. Hamilton with a good stop to keep the bases halted at first and second.
These hoppers, they may be last place in the league, but they always are full of surprises. They never stop hustling. They always are full of surprises. So these Mammoths can't get too confident out there.
No, there's a long drive to left. That one's deep. Going back, looking up, and that ball is gone.
What did we just say? Man, he is on a roll.
Javon Shelby with a line drive, 3-run home run, and it's a 4-1 Westside Woolly Mammoth lead.
I'm going to start losing count as to how many home runs he's hit this past few weeks. Wow.
He has been a home run machine. You talked about the home run he hit. And 2 home runs he hit in that 6 RBI game, but Javon Shelby with a game-opening blow. It's 4-1 now with that 3-run shot. So 3 hits in this inning, surpassing the 2 hits they had in the previous 5 innings.
Wow.
And it's a 4-1 game. Westside says, yep, that's why we're in first.
That's
a
right.
big-time swat and a line drive out of here well over the head of Pat Adams in left field.
It's funny how things can change so quickly in baseball. I think that's why I love it. It's so it's exciting. Pitch by pitch is what they say, right?
That's it. That is the league-leading 8th home run of the year for Javon Shelby. And that is RBIs number 21, 22, and 23. There's a foul back of the plate, 1 and 2. And it comes with 2 outs in the inning to make matters worse if you're a Diamond Hopper fan.
Because if you think back, if he would have caught that ball at second, you know, it's like as a player, do you always like replay in your head, what if? And you can't do that. You can't dwell. You got to move on. But, man, that's a tough one.
And the drop over here along the railing. Was that earlier in this inning?
It was.
Okay.
It was when I was downstairs getting ready to go interview Kyle and Noah, but I watched that, and it's like, ugh. You just feel for these guys. You know they're putting their hearts out there. And
they sure are. There's a line drive left field, and, boy, when it rains, it pours.
That's right.
4th hit of the inning. And the 6th hit of the game, and the train keeps a rolling for the Woolly Mammoths. And so that single by Barbie. So back-to-back hits. Sandwich between the strikeout by Whisker, back-to-back hits by Polchin and Williams, who both rode home on the Shelby home run, his 8th of the year. 4-1, Westside in the lead, bottom of the 6th inning. Glad you could join us here on YouTube channel. Chelsea Estes with us.
First time here, loving it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll let me make a guest appearance more often, right?
You know what? If my vote's there, I'm saying yes.
Yes. Maybe the fans who are listening will chime in, right?
I think ratings have spiked.
Off the charts.
I think Nielsen's come in, and yes, we've got another listener. Thank you. The dog has joined us. This is Zeke. JJ, I was close.
State.
Okay.
Are you a Sparty?
I am not. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh, shoot. You must be the other team. I'm taking it.
Or other teams. Yeah.
Go green.
Hey, well, I'm employed by a green and white college in this great state of ours, not named Michigan State.
Oh, well, they're all great colleges.
They are.
It's all fun.
No, I'm down with the Spartans.
Here we go.
I'm down with teams that win and do things the right way.
There we go.
They've done that for the most part. 4-1. The big blow, the 3-run home run by Javon Shelby that has changed this game dramatically. Westside on top, 4-1 over the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Drew Kitson, the batter, flew to right field his last time up in the 5th. And he grounds one to short, and cutting in front was Diaz. Broussard fields it, and he'll have no play. He had Barbie at second, which had beat the second baseman Geely to the bag. He had no play at second with him running and running well. And then Kitson. But that was a tough one, Chelsea. A tough play when third base and shortstop both had some decisions to make, sort of in no man's land.
Yeah, and you make those quick decisions, and you don't know what the other guy's thinking. So what do you do? And sometimes this time it's like you said, it rains, it pours. These hoppers need to hop back on the lily pad and figure it out.
Yeah, they need to stop the bleeding here. But another hit, line drive to right. This is off the bat of the leadoff man, Sonny Cortez. Throw in from right field, a strong one from Johnson. No further scoring, but the bases are loaded, and Nate Sweeney has gotten swatted at here in the 6th.
Yes,
he's given up 3 runs, Chelsea, and now in this inning, he's given up 6 hits.
He was doing pretty well until, just like you said,
Yeah.
one after another, and then, you know, how do you bounce back from that? Take a few deep breaths and say, all right.
That's right.
Here we go.
Yeah, and Sonny Cortez on with that single.
Yeah, it's all it's going to take to up it again.
Yeah, and so now pressure moment as the manager, Paul Nochi, comes out for the Eastside Ball Club. Nochi in his 4th year, looking for his first USPBL championship. Assisted, we should say, by Von Joshua.
Von Joshua, yep.
who's in his first year. The official mascot is Ribby.
He is.
Have you hung out with Ribby? Is he fun?
I have. I've hung out with all the mascots, and I do the
Who's your favorite?
Ooh.
There's no favorites, but it's okay.
There's no favorites. I like unicorns. I have a unicorn on my desk at work,
Okay,
so I
that's
gotta
all right.
say I like the unicorns. But I love mascots. I used to escort Sparty around Michigan State.
Oh boy.
Pause with it when I worked with the Tigers. I just have a thing. I like them. It's my fun fact.
Have you ever worn a mascot uniform or outfit?
For fun, I have. And when I worked for the Tigers, they had these.
How did
the
it
Chevy,
smell?
Awful. I mean, it's like, just imagine on a 90 hot and humid day and you're stuck in a fuzzy outfit. Can you imagine?
Heard. Ryan Dobson is in a bases-loaded situation, and now a 1-1 count is the pitch up and in from Nate Sweeney of the Diamond Hoppers to Ryan Dobson. So you smelt a little bit of the cars from.
Yeah, when I was with the Tigers for the Chevy,
Yeah.
I put it on for a few seconds and it smells and you can't see, so.
Got functified?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Well, that'll wake you up.
It
Some
was.
smelling salts.
It's
2-1 the count with 2 outs. Bases are loaded. Cortez at first. Kitson at second. Barbie at third, itching to come home from Ryan Dobson. Ground ball right back to the pitcher.
it's just what he needed.
Sweeney gets just what he needed, a ground ball back to him, and he retires it, and the side is retired. But not without damage. A 3-run home run by Javon Shelby, his 8th of the year, as the Mammoths out in front by 3, 4-1 as we go to the top of the 7th. You're watching USPBL coverage on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you ever need me.
Special thanks to Rich Borland for his help tonight.
He's a true MVP,
And
too.
all kinds of loaded with all goodies, information, nuggets. Caramel nuggets sometimes chocolate.
Oh.
All good sweet nuggets, though, right, Chelsea?
What's your favorite kind of chocolate?
My favorite kind of chocolate is white chocolate.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little white chocolate with some raspberry swirl in it.
I've never met someone who likes
Oh,
it.
look at, we're getting looks around.
Dana
look at,
likes it.
Dana likes.
Yeah,
Dana,
that sounds good, actually.
Dana's drooling over here. She don't mind a little bit of white chocolate. She's not scared.
No.
Pitch is outside the zone.
But did you know that it's National Ice Cream Sandwich Day today?
No, I did not.
It is.
But if you're talking like that.
I know, right?
There better be an ice cream sandwich within reach.
So maybe someone will hear us and bring us a big bowl of them, right?
You know what? Let me turn up the sound in the concourse here.
Someone or a fan, there's Grubhub or someone could just drop it off at the stadium for us.
Oh, I'm down with that. This is Brad Hamilton, and he pounds it off his toe.
Oof.
And that is painful. If you've ever dropped a sofa on your toe, if you've ever dropped a heavy box.
I'm clumsy. I run into the chairs and everything, the stub. I know if it's anything like that, probably 10 times worse.
Yeah.
I'd be down for the count. I'd say, Coach, maybe tomorrow. I'm going to the dugout.
Now, you're a cheerleader, though, right? Or you've been in dance or cheerleading and whatnot. Have you ever had another cheerleader fall on your toe?
No, but I've dancing. I was twirling, and I totally did the worst sprain of my ankle. So I know the feeling.
All right. Well, Zeke knows the feeling, too. JJ. Why do there's another dog somewhere else.
Michigan State.
Oh, that's
Zeke,
okay.
the Frisbee dog. See, this is why I asked you.
That's why you asked it. Okay.
Oh, come on.
I'm Chelsea. I'm behind. Okay.
It's okay. I'll bring you up to speed.
Bear with me. The dogs of sports. Well, I'll tell you what. JJ is right up there. What a sweet dog. A lot of love earlier.
He is a lover
and
a hard worker.
Pup. Man, he is a hard worker. Look at how skinny this dog is. You guys feed him? Yeah, they do. Yeah, no,
Jimmy John
I know.
sandwiches.
Jimmy John sandwiches.
He is such a crowd pleaser. The fans want to pet him. Oh.
Hamilton pops it up. This is a routine play for the second baseman, Cortez, who makes the play. That's the first out here in the top of the seventh, and a 4-1 Westside lead over the Eastside. You were saying, Miss Chelsea?
I'm down there a lot with the fans, and it's so fun to see them with the mascots in the game, and the players are so interactive, which makes this so amazing. But JJ is a celebrity of his own. Pictures, and when he goes and grabs the bat, everyone just goes wild and just loves him. And he's just so sweet.
Well, he's just so, you can do whatever you want to him. You can tap his face, his nose.
Nothing faces him.
Tell him to go fetch a bat.
He does it like a good boy.
Will he fetch balls and bats alike? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Has there ever been a problem where he goes and gets a bat or a ball that shouldn't be fetched before? There's a fly ball center field. Trouble, and that thing's going to drop.
Oh.
That is down. Kitson had trouble. So did Whisker. Miscommunication. And scampering into second base is Zach Gray. We'll see how they score that. That should be a double. But who cares? Let's talk about the dog.
Way more important stuff. Who cares about that game going on? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm kidding. I care, of course.
We love baseball. We love dogs.
We love it. Dana says he did chase some things last year, but has changed this year. There's been some obedience training in the offseason. Happy Tales Learning Center for Dogs has been a big part of the turnaround. And I'll tell you what, JJ he's a better kisser now, too. Okay? We can see that.
So many fans.
Yeah. There's a pitch that's fouled away. 1 out. Runner at second, and that won't go as an error, and it should not within the rules of baseball.
Okay, maybe explain that a little bit to us.
Well, yeah, I will. The ball dropped down in between Kitson and Johnson in left center field, and officially scoring it, nobody touched the ball, right? So if nobody can touch it and flop it or miss it, then there's no chance for what could be scored an official error. But verbal miscommunication, even though they didn't touch it, it falls safely. It is considered a hit. And the Diamond Hoppers trying to cut into this 3-run deficit.
I'm learning something new every day.
Yeah, no, and that's good. And you work in many sports. You're at Oakland, right?
I'm at Oakland.
Basketball, Oakland University.
That's right. Doing that in the winter.
It's awesome. Both are busy in college basketball. And does Eastern play Oakland this year?
I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know. I don't think so. We haven't played in a couple years. Yeah.
But they did just agreed with Michigan State down at Little Caesars Arena to do a game there.
You all always get that. You guys always get these Michigan State games.
I'm telling you.
Auburn Hills and in Detroit. And I know there's a lot of Izzo love and Campy love, and that's all right. That's cool.
That's a great. Was it last year? I don't know. The Grizzlies gave the Spartans a huge run for their money. That's when I was the dance coach at Oakland, and it was, that was fun. Good old times.
Well, it's good times here for
That's
everybody
right.
but the pitcher and Matt Cronin, who has dealt up a walk, a rare walk. By my record, that is the only walk of the game that he has dealt, and this could be the end of the line
Oh, we're changing.
for Cronin, the right-hander, who has gone all 6 innings, 6 1/3 officially, and given up just the 4 hits. But back-to-back base runners, and with 1 out here in the 7th, they will leave him in. Chelsea, you surprised with the call?
You know, I am, but also I think Sonny's little pep talk, may settle him down. If maybe gives up another hit or that could be. There are some guys warming up over there.
Yeah.
My eyes aren't that great, so I can't tell who it is. It looks like a sidearm pitcher. I can't
Yeah, we'll try
see.
to get somebody down there.
Well,
This is Shante Wheatley, who pops it up behind home plate and behind the dugout. And what do we have here?
Did we catch
Young man had a beverage in one hand, dropped it with the other, but goes back 3 rows and picks up that pill and says, he's slamming his beer now.
That's impressive. And, good for him.
That is a USPBL home run.
It is International Beer Day today, so this guy is celebrating with the baseball and chugging a beer.
Wait a minute, didn't you tell me it was International something else today?
It's both. International
No
Beer
way.
Day and Ice Cream Sandwich Day.
You are all about these international days, 2 things of which I am craving, young lady.
I'm telling you. You can't go wrong with beer and ice cream.
Oh, there's a pop-up, and again miscommunication. This time second base shortstop, but it is
Dobson.
retired on the Ryan Dobson.
When I sit out at the front desk interviewing some of the players and coaches before the game, I talk baseball with them, but I think it's also fun to kind of do some personal questions so fans outside can get to know them as well.
Yeah.
And so I always look up, are there any fun holidays? So I usually will ask the guys, hey, so today I was going to ask them, would you rather have a beer or an ice cream sandwich? Or what flavor ice cream sandwich? There's so many things it's so fun because, it's fun to see the guy's personality come out when I talk to him. And it's great. These guys are so fun. They're so awesome to talk to and even more fun to watch them play.
Well, you make it easy to talk to them with your style of
I think that's
broadcasting and
Thank
approaching
you.
them, and that always makes it easier.
Yeah.
Not everyone gets that kind of reception. It takes 2 to tango, right?
It does. And sometimes it's scary, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Talking on the mic in front of people, and
It is. It's
But-
different. You can hide up here.
that's right.
But when you're down on the field and you're standing there and everybody knows what you're saying and
They know
everybody's
what
listening.
you look like, and you're like,
Yeah.
but I tell you, ooh.
Swinging a fly ball laced hard but hit right at the center fielder Kitson, who retires
go.
the side. So 2 are left by the Diamond Hoppers, who made a threat. They get 2 on an error and a hit, but they retire the side. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Time to stand up and stretch it out. You're listening to USPBL coverage on the YouTube channel.
Perfect.
Welcome back to USPBL Baseball on the YouTube channel. My name is Chad Bush alongside Chelsea Estes. And we're proud to bring you baseball on this Firework Friday.
Firework Friday. Here we go. Every Friday night here at Jimmy John's Field. Always brings in a nice crowd. I mean, like we said earlier, this beautiful summer night.
Fans are taking advantage. Good-sized crowd per usual on
Absolutely.
a weekend here. Jimmy John's Field. Look at the beautiful scoreboard lit up in left center. Zeroing in on the leadoff man in this inning, which will be for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. The number 3 hitter, Will Johnson. Will 0 for 3 today. Is grounded into a double play back in the first.
Will Johnson. Let's see what. Maybe he'll get something going here.
Yeah, and he's going to try to get it going against a new arm.
That's right.
And that new arm is number 35, Matt Rowland. He's out of Marietta, Georgia. That's a suburb of Atlanta. And he is a former product of the Atlanta Braves.
So he's no stranger to the professional baseball.
No, he's
lifestyle.
been around. He's been around. He's a big boy.
Yeah, how
You'd
tall
go
is he?
broke feeding him if you were hosting him. 6'5", 255.
Oh,
There's
wow.
a pop-up off the bat of Johnson. Coming over and making the play is Zach Gray in foul territory. So one out quickly for Matt Rowland, the big right-hander from the Peach State of Georgia.
6'5". That is 1 foot taller than me. So
Yeah,
I
so
would
we
need
can
a
imagine that.
A little extra step stool if I ever have to interview him out on the field. Some taller tennis shoes or something.
Yeah, and he's trying to decelerate his elevated ERA. He has not had much work, just one appearance and a third of an inning, and he gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. All 3 were earned. He did walk a couple and strike a guy out. But this is a guy they like. They like his size. He just has not had a lot of work yet, and a chance now to get an impression of him. And after that last at-bat, Chelsea, it looked like he's got something to work with.
He does. You know, sometimes it just takes a few innings to get the feel. You know, I know they raised the mound 2 inches. I think it's 2.
That's right.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right? My memory's a little like, but it's true. Bottom line, they raised the mound. So if new pitcher to the league, might take a little getting used to if you're not used to that. And I always ask them, I'm curious, like, do you notice a difference? And, some have told me a little bit, some have told me not at all. So it's just everyone's different.
Yeah, in such a routine position as a pitcher and muscle memory, it's so important. There's a high chopper to short. Broussard is going to charge and fire to first for the out. Zach Gray handles it, so 2 outs, and that'll bring up the DH. And Dan Williams, who had a single his last time up.
Former Unicorn.
Yeah.
I wonder how it's like playing against your former teammates when they face the Unicorns.
Get your juices jumping a bit. A little differently.
Show them what they're missing.
Yeah.
Big swing.
He's out of Houston, Texas, went to UT Tyler. Tyler's down in the Dallas area, nice little suburb. Country's folk. 4-1 the lead. Westside did that with a 3-run shot last inning in the bottom of the 6th. The 3-run home run by Shelby. His 8th of the year. The only run for Eastside is the Luke Johnson home run to left. His 7th of the year. So both big boppers in this league have gone deep.
We got a celebrity.
We got a
Our
celebrity.
newest Colorado Rocky Kyle Olagus has made an appearance in the booth.
Oh, well,
He's saying hi to all the viewers.
we will get a chance to talk to Mr. Ologist
we
at
can
the end of
switch
the
headphones.
Why don't we do that to give him more time at the next start of the next? Do you have time? Is the limo still waiting? Will they hold up for? If the limo going to hold up for you, they'll wait for you, dude.
Yeah, you're
Trust me.
the big leagues, big
We
leagues.
want to give you
now.
a full half inning, so you hang tight. Thank you so much for popping up here. Look at, he's already got that Rockies hat on.
He's rocking it. He's rocking it. Get it? Rocking the
Oh,
Rockies.
very good.
I crack myself up.
You are
sometimes.
good. I like it.
Oh,
Dan
man.
Williams is going to walk. He didn't want to. Told the home plate umpire, can I stick around? And they said, no, you got to get down there, big fella.
Time for someone else to take a chance. Ethan Whisker. Maybe he can start get out of that 0-3 rut today.
I know.
It's not like him.
It's not. Struck out last inning. He was one of the 3 outs last inning in an inning that saw Westside bat around. Ethan Whisker. Woolly Mammoths been hot of late, trying to win 7 of their last 8 with a win here today. Beavers biting at their heels. They're a half game behind them in second place. Swing and a miss, 0-2 the count.
I'm telling you, these races, the offense on these teams are, mostly hot. Mammoths, Beavers, and Unicorns it is hot. They are swinging like the summer heat.
They are. This is the top offense in the league.
Yeah.
Westside.
This is the first time in the 3 years history that they've been in first place. So, in 16-5 in the last 21 games, they got the top batting average, top team pitching. They're just.
Yeah, they got a lot of mojo going on.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're keeping it going. Just everything's coming together.
Yep.
For these guys.
Whisker awaits the pitch. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Rowland gets the strikeout and keeps this at a 3-run game. We go to the 8th inning. We've completed 7 full innings. It's 4-1, Westside over the Eastside. We're back in a moment with a newly signed Colorado Rocky, Kyle Ologist, on either side of this break.
Guest of honor, I thought I said my goodbyes.
Welcome back to Jimmy John's Field. 4-1 your scores. We go to the top of the 8th inning. The Westside Woolly Mammoths in the lead, and they have gone to the bullpen. Matt Cronin's day is done. And it looks like they've gone to the pen and brought in number 51, Anthony Trovato, a right-hander out of Cumming, Georgia, in relief. So 7 full innings, and in line for his 4th win of the year is the right-hander Matt Cronin. Now then, we shift our gears from one right-handed pitcher to another, and a newly signed Colorado Rocky, Kyle Ologist, has joined us from the Beavers and freshly signed. The ink is still wet. Congratulations on getting signed, and just talk about the feelings right now, as this has got to be sky high for you.
Thank you. Once again, it's been an absolute blessing. As a young kid, we always have a dream to play Major League Baseball, and it's different things come our way, and after all the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears is what we always say. Finally getting the phone call this morning was probably one of the greatest phone calls ever. The second greatest phone call was to my mom and dad. About an hour after that, after I kind of really got into it, and emotional phone call on both my parents.
Yeah.
After everything that they've done, I can't thank them enough. Can't thank the USPBL enough. Justin Ornduff and all the pitching mechanics and things like that. I wouldn't be the guy that I am today.
Kevin Ologist joins us. He's freshly signed by the Major League Baseball's Colorado Rocky. There's a tapper in front of the plate, and Mr. Kitson's going to ground out to first. So That was Pat Adams, rather, the leadoff man. He's retired for the 4th time tonight, sort of an oddity. You'll no longer have to face Pat Adams. Are you happy about that?
Yeah, he was one of the toughest guys. I think right now he's leading the league in a lot of different numbers right now.
He sure is.
Most definitely a tough out.
So let's talk about you. You're from the Ville.
Yeah.
Louisville. I'll try to say it with my Yankee accent. Louisville. And I'm sure I'm still butchering it. But you're from Louisville, Kentucky, and it's been a journey for you for which has just continued to be a stepping stone. But just take us through after you finished high school and your post-high school work and how it's gotten you to a major league contract here at the USPBL.
So finishing up, I went to school at Pleasure Ridge Park High School. I did finish my high school with a 2013 state championship in the state of Kentucky.
All right.
So that was great to finish high school with. I had many opportunities. I started to think about furthering my education, things like that. I did worry about schooling. I did go to a university where I could play for 4 years and have fun. If things happened, they happened. So I did get a master's in occupational therapy. After that was all said and done, I turned to baseball again. And I said, I've done it for so long, it's not time to hang them up yet. So I had a couple workouts with the guys. Phone call got me here into the USPBL. And coming into the beginning of last season, battling a couple injuries, I stayed straight, followed the process, trusted it. And finishing last season, kind of thought, I said, I'm going to see what's in store for next season. I said that was my first season as a professional, kind of see where things go and kind of really trust myself. So I go through the first half of the season, had the ups and the downs, still trusted that process, and then I get the phone call today, and it's just been something that's been phenomenal.
Who called you, and when did they call you, and where were you?
So I actually showed up this morning at the field at about 8:15. We had practice this morning. The pitchers had to get in there, get their work in. So after I had done my stretching, throwing, I was getting ready to get my conditioning in. Always get your conditioning in, by the way. I was getting ready to get it in, and one of the other pitching coordinators, Shane, which is kind of one of the guys that's been really hands-on with us down on the field in the games, kind of giving us those things, was on the phone with Justin Orndorff, which is the head pitching coordinator, kind of does a lot for the league, and I've grown really, really close with him, and he was the one that actually told me that the Colorado Rockies were going to take and sign me, and then from there it's 9:30 this morning. Since then, it's
That's
been
awesome. How cool.
Phone's been blowing up with congratulations and good luck and best of luck.
Kevin Ologis, who has battled injuries after last year, spending it in this league, right? You spent time here and missed time due to an injury, came all the way back. What was the injury? Where was it? And how would you say you've recovered percentage-wise?
It was coming into spring training my first year here. I had strained a rotator cuff muscle. So one of the big muscles for pitchers, man, that's the biggest thing. If you hear a rotator cuff injury in a pitcher or Tommy John, those are the two things. Just a small rotator cuff strain. I was out for about a month or so. It finally come back. After battling the injury, you have to regain that strength, stuff like that. And finally came back and
outstanding.
Just kind of trusted everything.
You talked about trusting yourself, trusting the process. Where does that faith come from?
In the heart, really.
Yeah.
You just have to have faith in yourself and faith in, everything you've done leading up to that, And as a young kid, you play the game and you have faith you're going to, get that big hit at that time or, win the biggest game ever.
How helpful was this league in getting you the opportunities to get to the next level?
This league has done phenomenal things this being the fourth year, over the 4 years, having 34 different guys go. And, you look back to guys that were just now starting. Randy, they made announcements the other day that he was, AAA Pitcher of the Week.
Yeah.
Guys like that are
Minnesota Twin system, was it? Yeah.
They're finally making their way through, and it's, a league like this, it's just starting and so small, but yet so so huge of an impact to these major league farm systems and teams. It's been great coming in and getting, the mechanical help and, the statistics and, things like that I need to be successful. And then taking that process into, the major league farm systems where they've got everything going for that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So very instrumental this league was. And by the way, we're in the midst of the 8th inning as we go to the bottom now as the Westside Woolly Mammoths trying to hold on to a 4-1 lead. This was a 1-0 game, or 1-1 game, from the bottom of the first all the way up until the 3-run shot in the 6th by Javon Shelby. And that's where we're at now here in the 8th. 3-run lead for the Woolly Mammoths. Eastside has a new pitcher. It's Joey Beals. And Beals, who wears number 9, 6'3", 200, out of Canton, Ohio, went to Walsh University, a Division II school in the state of Ohio. But the big news is that we are celebrating the signing of Noah Coates of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Kyle Olagus of the Beavers, who have both been signed today by the Colorado Rockies of Major League Baseball. There's a pitch inside. Did it hit him? No, it did not. Freddie Geely out of the way fast enough for the Westside Woolly Mammoths. So, Kyle, let's talk about where you report and when you report to the Rocky system. What level is it and where are you headed?
So I'm not 100% sure where I'm actually going to start. I do know that I have to, go for physicals, stuff like that, make sure everything's healthy with myself. Obviously they're, curious about myself and my
Sure.
my health before they, send me any further. The last thing I need to do is go out and injure myself again. I think I will get the opportunity to go home for a day. Obviously, I'm a couple hours from home, so I'll be able to drive back home, see the family for a day. And then it sounds like Monday morning I'll be on a flight for a physical either Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. Depending on the results there, it sounds like I'll be headed up to Montana to meet with one of the teams that'll be up there on an extended road trip.
Awesome. So you'll fly to Colorado and
I'll fly out to Phoenix. So it'll be from Louisville to Phoenix.
Okay.
That's where I'll get my physical, and then from there they'll send me out to where the team that I'll be with.
Okay, and is that because that's where their minor league headquarters is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they send all the guys for physicals, things like that. It's just kind of that main base that they have.
Yeah. Strike 3 call. That's a strikeout for Beals. And the first out of the inning, out on strikes is Freddie Geely, and that'll bring up that'll bring up Jake Barbie. Got my place in the lineup messed up. So 4-1 still on top are the Westside Woolly Mammoths. Well, that's great. So you could be out in Montana. You could be elsewhere. What's the other possibility? It's either one or the other, right?
I think the other one would be in Grand Junction, Colorado. Like I said, it all kind of just depends on what they need. I was talking to the guy this morning. He said, man, we've been juggling with a lot of pitching. He said, that's what we need. Obviously, you get two guys out of the USPBL, me and Noah.
Right.
So
talk about that. You get to go perhaps with Noah if they let you two go together. I don't know how much trouble you two have caused here in the league here in the USPBL, but that'd be kind of cool. Do you like him? Is he nice?
Yeah, it's
cool guy.
Obviously, being a pitcher, the pitchers in the league get really close. The position players get really close to each other. Obviously, we're always around.
Yeah.
We're always playing each other. So there's always we're always talking back and forth with one another. Good thing is me and Noah have been here for the season, so we kind of understand how things are working with our mechanics and stuff like that. So if we're on the same on the same side. Obviously, now we're on the same pitching staff, so there's a lot of similarities that we both have. So it's being able to understand what the other guy's going through is also a great thing to have.
Fly ball, foul territory, easy play for Diaz, who will make the catch about 10 feet wide of the third base line. And with 2 outs, Woolly Mammoths with a comfortable 3-run lead. Your role here has been primarily starter, yes?
Yes.
Have they discussed roles with you in their system or no?
They have not discussed any roles. I think the big thing is to get into the physical and kind of see where things go. End of the day, if they need me to come in and throw to one hitter or one situation, that's what I got. If they need me to start games and be a starter, be out of the pen, whatever it is, whatever they need, whatever they call my name for, I'm ready for it.
It's awesome. What do you think about the day you get the call into Colorado for the Rockies, and you're up against a stadium that's known to give up the most runs in baseball? That'll be the last of your worry. That'd be a good problem to have, right?
Yeah, that is.
Have you thought about that, though?
No,
as a pitcher in the Rocky system,
hasn't crossed my mind.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, being a pitcher, I hope the hitters that we have also do the same thing.
Sure, no doubt.
End of day, you feel real comfortable on the hill after your team's sent the couple over the wall.
Here's Drew Kitson. We're talking with Kevin Allegas, who is out of Louisville, Kentucky, and in his second year has been signed by the Colorado Rockies to play professional baseball. Congrats to him, and also Noah Goetzies, who was signed in the same system. They don't know where they're going yet, but reporting for physicals next week, and then perhaps out to Colorado for the single-A club or the other club in Montana, Billings, Montana. What are they, the Billings? I forget. I won't hold you to that. You'll know soon enough.
I'll know soon enough. But, man, just taking it all in as a Rocky right now.
It's awesome. Have you looked on their rosters to see if there's anybody you've ever played with? Or
there's actually last season there was a guy that I played with on the Unicorns when I was here.
Okay.
Jesse Sinet had gotten the same phone
call. Okay.
Around this time last season.
How about that?
And came in and played. He was a guy. I played with a guy in summer ball back a couple years ago in Canada. I think he's actually with the Rockies organization. So it'll be fun to go out there and kind of see those guys.
Kevin Allegas, we congratulate him. We're going to say goodbye to you as we go to the ninth inning and close this thing out. Best of luck in your travels. We will be following you. We will never forget you. Don't you forget us. Thanks for what you've done, and keep doing wonderful things. Kevin Allegas out of Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there he is. Best of luck. We go to the top of the ninth inning. Last call for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. They got some work to do. They trail by 3. We're back in a moment. This is YouTube coverage on USPBL. Welcome back to Utica, Michigan. Jimmy John's Field, the scene of this baseball game that has grown to the ninth inning. And the Diamond Hoppers up against it. They scored first. They scored in the first. They had a 1-0 lead. Westside would score and answer in the bottom half with a bloop hit to right. No scoring until the 6th. And a 3 spot was put up on a 3-run jack, a line shot out of here by Javon Shelby, his 8th of the year. So, due up for the east side is Riley Mahalik, the DH, and the cleanup hitter, followed by Hamilton and Gray. On in relief, a new pitcher for the Westside Woolly Mammoths, and it's number 11. And we got a new, I don't have a number 11. So I apologize, but we'll keep rolling. Here's the set and the pitch. He's right-handed, I can tell you that. And in steps the left-handed hitter for the Diamond Hoppers, Riley Mahalik, a DH who is 0 for 3 today. And behind 1-2. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for the East Side. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the West Side. 6 of those 8 hits and 3 of those 4 runs all coming in the 3-run 6th. Check swing, did he go? They'll appeal down to first. No, he did not. He being Riley Mahalik. Mahalik, the DH. Played at Rider University, Division I school out on the East Coast. Batted .313, 12 home runs, 41 runs driven in last year. Mahalik batting .286 as he pops one foul. 2-2, staying alive. Mahalik followed by Hamilton and Gray due up for Paul Nochi, the fourth-year manager for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, who are in jeopardy of losing their 8th straight game to the Woolly Mammoths. Full count. Mahalik has 10 hits on the year. He's played just 11 games. Sharp grounder to second. Easy play for the second baseman, Cortez, who fires to first. To Pulshin, and there's 1 out, and 2 outs remained for the Eastside Ball Club. Here's Brad Hamilton. Couple of strikeouts and a pop-out. His last time up in the 7th. 0 for 3, is batting .400 on the year. In just his 8th at bat. So 4 hits and a perfect, or 4 hits and 10 tries coming into this game, but not as much luck here tonight yet to get a hit. And now behind 0-2 to this right-handed pitcher for the West Side. We're still trying to identify. Hamilton out of Avon Lake, Ohio. Former Kent State Golden Flash in the Mid-American Conference. He is the son of the play-by-play man for the Cleveland Indians, Tom Hamilton. There's a swing and a foul tip into the glove, strike 3. Out on strikes. His brother also played at Kent State. Too bad it took me all game to remember that. So 2 outs, and here comes the final hope for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. I recall the Hamiltons quite well. Brother Nick, if I recall. So Hamilton out on strikes. That'll leave things up to Zach Gray here in the 9th inning in Utica, Michigan. Beautiful Jimmy John's Field on this perfect Friday night. Don't go anywhere. Fireworks are next. Are you excited for the fireworks, Ryan? Yeah. Ryan says, heck yeah, man. Zach Gray, 2 for 3 in this game. Couple of doubles. And has half the hits for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The last hope. The wind in the deal. Swinging a tapper at the plate. Foul. The game winner coming off the bat of Javon Shelby, if this thing holds up. The third baseman and number 7 hitter for Brian Kluppy went deep back in the 3-run 6th. That's the difference. Outside of that 5th inning, we have not had a run since the 2nd. Bottom of the 1st, rather. Pitch, check swing. Did he go? No appeal. 2-2 count. 239 hitter for Zach Gray, the first baseman. Popped up foul out of play. We talked a little about Noah Goetses, but he's out of Phoenix and is from Regis University in Colorado, where he had a 4.75 ERA. Full count, 2 outs to Zach Gray. The wind and the pitch fouled down the first base line. He's out of Hamilton, Ohio. That's just in the Cincinnati area. Played at Henderson State, a D2 school. And was a volunteer baseball coach this past season. Tapper to first. Scooped up by the first baseman Polchin. Throw to first, and they got him to end the game. Westside wins it. They've won 8 straight against the Eastside. They win it by a final score of 4-1. Javon Shelby with a big blow, the home run, and it was enough to hold up the winning pitcher, Matt Cronin, who goes to 4-0. A tough luck, no decision for Dugan Darnell, who started and pitched fabulous in his debut in this league for the Diamond Hoppers. The Diamond Hoppers did get a home run in this game in the first inning from Luke Johnson, but that was all the offense, as they would only muster 4 hits in this game, and they lose by 4-1. Again, the big blow, the Westside Woolly Mammoths, who did get 2 hits and an RBI from Jake Polshin, but the big blow from Javon Shelby, the 3-run home run. And that's that. The tough luck loser is Nate Sweeney in this game for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Westside improves to their league-leading 20th win. They now go to 20-16. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers fall to 14-21, remain in last place. And we appreciate everyone listening and watching tonight. Want to thank all the folks for helping out. Chris Newell, who joined us first as a color analyst. Chelsea Estes, who also did a fine job on color commentary in her debut. And certainly want to thank our professional signee tonight, Kyle Allegis, joining us. He is off to pitch for the Colorado Rockies. My name is Chad Bush. Special thanks also to Ryan Chenevere helping us at the scoreboard and with all the stats all night. Thanks to Scott McDonald, to all the folks involved. My name is Chad Bush. Thanks for watching on USPBL YouTube channel. Once again, your final score, the Westside Woolly Mammoths 4 and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers 1. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.